because it has been a long day.
Oh, yeah, we've it's been a long in-game day, yeah. Been a long in-game.
There we go.
Cool beans.
Okay. Sorry, I was just getting the last thing set up there. But do you guys want to kick things off with some? You guys can roll on the table if you like. Otherwise, you're welcome to let me know how your characters feel about what's happened over the past day.
Jin doesn't know what she thinks about what's happening currently. She doesn't really know what she's doing at the moment. But I shall roll.
Well, Astraea, she just feels relieved that no one died the last session. Elsewhere, hopes that we have, while she was away, that they have found a way home, so people. And we already know the answer to prayers if we got one wish. But that would be.
What did Jin wish for?
Yeah. So what about June? What would June use a wish for? That is quite an interesting question. That.
That is a very hard question, not gonna lie. Hmm. Probably to be free of her current pact to to that certain person. Dev knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That would probably be an interesting situation for a wish. What about Kaiya? There's because I mean we'll catch you up on what happened last time in a minute, but is there anything that Kai would wish for?
I'm not sure really.
What does she want in life? What is her greatest desire? I mean, at the moment, this has been quite a state of curiosity for her, I suppose, that's gotten her into this group. But we don't really know much about her yet.
Yeah, I guess I'm still sort of playing with the possibility, because in folklore it said that kitsunes can bind themselves to a specific mortal. So I'm still playing with the idea that the reason that she actually followed them through was because she felt Sakura die. So she might have some connection to her, but I'm not actually sure yet. But if that was the case, then probably for her to come back, because as soon as a kitsune binds themselves to another being, that bond is like it's pretty serious. So possibly that. If not, then possibly to get her like kitsune brothers and sisters who kind of disappeared through the portal to like get them back. and then if either of those happened, she'd probably just go back to living a nice, happy Feywild life.
Oh, that's really interesting. I like that concept, the guiding fox spirit. And what about Jerry? If Jerry had one wish, what would he use it for?
Could not just wish to turn her into a quicksilver.
Yeah, no, well, that could actually make for a cool familiar down the road. Yeah, I can imagine Jerry actually building one of those. Might need some help from Seto, or someone able to do some more fine work, but still. Okay, yeah, that's. I mean, but how would he actually wish for that, or do you want to sort of keep that to yourself? That's vague wishes like that are exactly how to get yourself fucked over by anything granting wishes.
The first thing I thought was, yes, okay, they are safe, but they are removed from existence, so you can't get to them. Trapped in what, a demi-plane that isn't can't leave. So they are safe, but
Safe from the world, and the world can't communicate with them.
they ain't safe for Gok. Gok finds a way.
Oh boy.
Yeah, although from what Jerry's saying, actually that I'm really interested to see how things are going to go, because I think yeah, wishing for it is a very particular way of going about it. But Jerry has got his, he's a paladin. There's the gods are involved in your sort of desires to further your goals, and it'll be interesting. It's good for them to know what you're actually after. But obviously, everyone's got their own agendas. But for now, while we're still waiting for Seto, I'm going to give us a little bit of a recap. Would you like to start at the start of the day, or just at the beginning of the last session?
Let's have a start of the day just to gauge how much of it has actually just been in one day.
Okay. Well, in that case, this morning of this same day, you woke up in a maze of stairs haunted by unknown spirits. You felt trapped and betrayed, prisoners once more, but you wouldn't have it. You sent those spirits to oblivion, detonated a hurricane bomb, and fled Anaki's flying tower, stealing both her prized orrery as well as her closest assistant, along with some of her most magical treasures. You then found yourselves in a strange room created by Sakura's connection to the device, and quickly discovered a doorway to another realm. There, upon floating islands on golden clouds, you were introduced to the wonders of the Feywild, as well as Gulong, the dog dragon. Intrigued as to where the orrery had brought you, the party descended through the clouds to discover a wealth of floating islands stretching as far as the eye could see, each topped with a unique cluster of vegetation or architecture, truly a sight to behold. Especially because in the distance, far from the floating isles, a planet hung in the sky, shadowed by the body of what could only be a god. And realizing that you were further from home than you'd ever been, you followed the tails of a strangely beautiful fox into a portal in an ancient tree. Stepping through it was jarring at first due to the time dilation and lack of gravity, but nothing could have prepared you for what you saw next, as a group of green-skinned aliens were in the middle of a battle against a force of tentacle-faced monsters who seemed to have an equally tentacle-based starship docked behind them. Tensions were high, and the aliens immediately demanded to know whose side you were on. Strangely, two of the aliens were wearing Kigani-style clothes and weapons, and even spoke your language. However, a wise decision was made to turn around and let them fight their own battle, leading you back into the Feywild. All but Seto, who remained to defend the honor of warriors he had only just met, even at the cost of his own life. Naturally, you wouldn't let him fight alone, and thus joined him and the Gith in their fight against the Mind Flayers. And with your help, the Mind Flayer ship was soon captured, and the surviving Gith made their way on board. The ship held some interesting and disturbing discoveries for you all, but it quickly became evident that you were not alone. Making quick work of various alien aberrations led you deeper into the ship, where you went face to face with an elite group of Illithid and their eldritch abomination, the Mind Witness. The battle was hard fought, and though you were able to defeat the creatures with savage brutality, Sakura was sadly killed in the fray. She and Mata had fallen victim to the Illithid's desire for brains, and the party once again found themselves standing over the body of a friend taken too soon. Yezot, the only common-speaking Gith to have survived the battle, was surprised to see what you had even been up against. He claimed that the brain responsible for Sakura's death was relatively young for an Elder Brain, and would serve well as a distraction against the real threat, which he called the Ancient. This sparked a difference of opinion between you all, and the Gith would eventually, between you and the Gith, that would eventually lead to a massive fight on the deck. Unfortunately, by this point, the Githyanki commander had already flown within range of the Mind Flayer colony that they had come to destroy. This meant that every tentacle-headed nightmare within 5 miles was now bearing down on you like a swarm of angry bees with psionic powers and a taste for human brains, no less. Realizing that your only options were to either trust this Yankee's insane plan or kill them and fly an alien spaceship across the astral sea while being chased by an army of unholy aberrations, you took a vote and decided to fight. Despite some strange personal setbacks, June managed to gain control of the ship, aided by Astraea and your new Kitsune friend Kaiya. Together, they narrowly managed to race deep into the heart of this false moon and punch a giant hole into the side of the Illithid citadel. The crash left most of the Githyanki dead, but Yezot seemed more determined than ever. Thankfully, throwing the giant brain overboard seemed to have provided enough of a distraction for the entire citadel to have seemingly been emptied, though it soon became apparent that your arrival was no secret. The thralls of the Mind Flayers greeted you with an uneasy sense of calm, inviting you to begin a strange preparation ritual. You played along for as long as you could, but once you had eyes on the ancient Elder Brain's chambers, you let loose and splattered their brains all over the room. June was unfortunate enough to have succumbed to an intellect devourer, leaving her effectively brain dead. However, Kaiya's curiosity and knack for thievery allowed her to find a temporary solution to the problem before the real battle began. Entering the Ancient's chamber, you were greeted by several Mind Flayers, one in particular far bigger than the others, though he was still dwarfed by the gigantic skull behind him, tentacles spewing from it like roots made of eels, and up above, nested in a pool of brine and tadpoles, the brain, the ancient Elder Brain. Yezot whispered a call for reinforcements before giving a battle cry as you all sprang into action, charging forth with precision and displaying a mental fortitude that the Illithid could not break no matter how hard they tried. Jerry smashing skulls into calamari jam as Seto and Yezot fought their way ever closer to the brain, the bards providing magical support, controlling the battlefield as one by one the Mind Flayers fell. Desperate, the Elder Brain unleashed its psychic screams with enough force to shatter a normal mind, but it was not enough. You broke free of its grasps, giving the bards the opportunity to unleash a veritable barrage of eldritch lightning upon the beast. When the mist cleared, the brain was dead, and you found yourselves supposed heroes of the Githyanki people, still stranded in an alien temple so very far from home. And that is where we find you now, as you nurse your wounds after a very long day, and decide how to get out of this God's forsaken place.
Alrighty. So, anybody have any ideas on getting out of here?
Kaiya, just for reference, when the battle started and you saw all these mind flayers, you turned into a fox and hid behind one of the pillars. You successfully hid throughout the entire battle, but you are back now.
Damn, wouldn't the party be angry? I'll just say that the tentacles terrified the shit out of her, and her body was like physically just like, nope, not happening.
Yeah.
By the way, guys,
that's-
where's the fox girl? I didn't see her in that entire fight.
Now that you
Well, she's currently in fox form, so she just looks down at the floor.
I have not seen her anywhere. I wonder where she could be.
Oh. She miraculously shows up next to you as a fox. And rubs against you.
Don't you rub against me. I did nothing this fight. We had to fight those things on our own, man. She turns away.
Follows and nuzzles again. Kaiya is being very cute. I mean, it must be really hard for you to try and resist her charms. Currently, she's in the baby fox mode, so she's a small, adorable foxling.
I should say, give me a persuasion check with advantage due to being a tiny kid fox. And
Oh.
June, you can react to that however you like.
See.
Oh, I think you got advantage.
Yeah.
How should I react with that? What check would be perfect for this?
You can give me an insight if you want to make it mechanic, but otherwise, take it as you will.
I'll use insight to see how Jin reacts. Haha!
Damn it.
Yeah, Jin looks down at you and just goes, "That's not gonna work on me. I don't like cute things. Cute things annoy me."
Ah. Oof. She's gonna try and hop onto your shoulder. Well, more like scramble up to your shoulder. I imagine that you're. How tall are you?
Average height.
She'll try and jump up. If she doesn't make it, then she'll like claw her way up.
Okay.
And if she gets there, she'll just sit on your shoulder and lick your mask.
Shocking grasp, bro.
What is button 4 for you guys?
button 4 is mount up.
Oh, for me it's sneak attack.
For me, it's turn to June flare. I don't know.
That's
Yeah,
number
okay.
5.
Maybe you guys don't want to reveal all your buttons, but
Yeah, that's a good idea.
yeah. So Astraea, that one was meant for if you were using your Pegasus. So yeah, I would be careful with it. The one for you is actually quite cool. Kaiya, it'll put you into like sneaking mode. It'll actually pop up in the chat that you are sneaking, and then it's just some cool flavor stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, do nothing.
definitely be trying
that one
to.
does.
I'm definitely going to try shocking grasper. Basically, poker and then shocking grasp.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you can roll for
Hopefully,
it.
it's not a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage.
So Kaiya, as you try and scramble up onto June's shoulder, she just blasts you with this crackle of energy, and you are tased as you just your legs go stiff for a second, and you instantly let out this yelp and fall onto the dead tentacles below you. And yeah, you take that 17 damage.
Damn. So that's harsh. But she's just gonna look very sad and go off towards Astraea because she thinks Astraea is a sucker for cute things.
What is Astraea doing as Kaiya makes her way over there?
Astraea in time has been going around and placing like the coins in on the eyelets of the what's called mind flayers and Astraea, and when she comes to the one that casts true strikes, she puts 2 gold coins like party right this since they use true strike, so please give them some life next time.
Okay. Yeah, you do that. You do find that one or two of the mind flayers, there are definitely no eyes to put uh, coins on, as Jerry has completely mulched their entire heads. It is, yeah, there's some disturbing remains lying around, but you are able to do that. And you notice as you're walking around, and all of you, you've mostly got pretty high passive perceptions and investigations at this point. You will notice that the largest of the mind flayers, that Ulitharid, has dropped the staff that he was holding, and you can see that his cloak has basically come loose as he's fallen. I mean, it's a bloody mess, what is left of these creatures. But you also can see that some of the tadpoles swimming in the pools around you, they seem to just now be spurting and like not enjoying the fact that these brine pools are now full of blood.
All right. Yeah, I was looking at that stuff earlier. I want to pick it up, have a look at it.
Yeah, you can do that. So yeah, what you can tell is this is a quite an alien-looking staff that you pick up, but without an identifier or something like that, you wouldn't be able to tell what its magical properties are. Or you can try and give me an Arcana check if you want to figure out how it activates or something like that.
Yeah, I'll give an Arcana.
Nah, unfortunately, you didn't actually see the creature using any sort of magical effects. From what you can tell, this is just a very fancy looking quarterstaff. But it is, yeah, very alien and clearly something that, I mean, looks very nice and probably has some magical properties, but you can't quite figure it out.
All right.
And yeah, at this point, Kaiya, you do manage to head up to Astraea as she's putting the coins on the eyes of these mind flayers.
She takes her paw and she sort of like reaches out to like touch Astraea's hand. And just like sort of like you know what a cat does? Like that. Just sort of like paw at it. And be like, notice me.
You can notice and see poor little bugs on this horrible thing, and like pops her with the staff of healing.
Oh. When she says that, Kaiya looks towards June. Thank you for the healing.
Yeah, so you just see as Astraea does this, see this light wash over the little burn marks that had formed under your fur and just knit them back together. You see the fur growing back as Astraea manages to heal some of this, and you just see June picking up a staff in the background and looking it over.
Okay. She's just gonna like show Astraea some affection. She's gonna like rub against her.
Astraea does like this thing, just her hands around like the neck, not like that, but just like carefully, that just stroking that area. And like down,
just a little scratch behind the ears, kind of thing.
Yeah, like that, just getting there and seeing like, okay, get to the ear part, and then just from there just down. Yeah, that's how she does.
Yeah, Kaiya is very happy, and she just sort of tries to get on Astraea's shoulder and sit there. She's decided that today she's going to be a bit of a cheeky shit.
How big are you actually in this fox form, by the way? I mean,
I'm pretty sure this is a tiny creature.
Yeah, but I'm asking how big your fox form actually is in terms of like, is it like a puppy size? Is it like the size of one of your cats? I know you've got like Norwegian forest cats.
No, not the size of one of my cats.
Those things are huge, man.
Like that?
Our cats are they're big. No, she's like at least half, like at least less than half the size of our cats. So like I guess the size of a puppy. I guess saying the size of a baby fox doesn't really like no one else really knows what the size of a baby fox is. So yeah, the size of like a small puppy.
Yeah, because that's why I'm asking, because a fox is it's not that small of a creature, but yeah, if it's a little one, then that's adorable. As you manage to make your way onto Astraea's shoulder, I assume she's letting you. What is Jerry doing while all this is happening, or are you waiting for Seto?
The fox is manipulating you with its cuteness. Don't trust it.
It's baby fox form. What can you do?
Shock it,
the fox is staring over. You feel the little fey dragon peek its head out from your cloak and just give it a little snarl. But I don't know if you still remember the pet that you've got, but
oh yeah,
it's definitely seen some shit.
I pet the little fey dragon that's under my cloak and say, "Don't worry, the cute thing will not get close to you," and continue to hide it.
I feel like Kaiya might ask about that later. Why June supposedly doesn't like cute things.
Well, also you would probably also know, Kaiya, that the relationship with the fairy dragons is not the best. They like to stick up to the clouds. They can be as much of a nuisance to you as you can be to them. It's an interesting dynamic out in the Feywild.
Okay, that's case when she sees the fey dragon, she like dramatically turns her head away from it, just with her nose in the air.
As you guys are doing this, you see the Gith making his way down off of the skull and saying over to Jerry and Seto, but just sort of speaking to the room as he's saying, "All right, well, I did call for reinforcements. Hopefully they will be here soon. I think we should go and have a look. This entire place has been surrounded by Githyanki airships. They should be moving in once. Well, they should have been once I made the call. Perhaps we should go and find a vantage point. And he's just also trying to figure out a way out of here at this point.
Oh, we did create a nice big hole to fall through.
Kaiya, you can also remember that you saw the opening to a cliffside when you went looting. That's where you saw the thrall just go running out the door and off the edge of the cliff. That seemed to lead to the outside. But other than that, yeah, the only actual entrance you guys know of is the massive hole that you guys left. I will say that there is a possibility if you guys are um, interested in trying to repair the nautiloid, but you would have to go and try and figure that out if you wanted. Yeah, it's up to you guys to kind of discuss and decide what you want to do.
So they made a hole in the cliffside, so wait. They can't get back through the entrance that they came through. Or can they?
Who?
The party. So
They
you can't
would
get.
be they would be referring to the mind flake prophecy.
Oh, yeah. So we wouldn't be able to get through the door we came through.
No, you
What?
could. You can go back the way you came.
There's other ways to get. I already did that. Already was almost at the waterloo.
Yeah, you dimension door out, but the door that you guys walked into this chamber through is at the bottom there. That is still a viable. That's still I mean, you can still walk through that door, but you can also explore this chamber if you're looking for other entrances or exits, or if you're looking for anything. But yeah, you can go back the way you came. Just bear in mind you crashed that ship, and outside is like floating islands and empty space. So
Right?
Okay.
Do I see these things floating in the water over here?
yeah, you can see those are tadpoles in that water. If you want to try and pick one of those up, you can. You can also see that there are a couple of like empty vials lying around this room that they seem similar to the jars that you saw brains being stored in, but they are a little bit smaller, about lantern sized. If you wanted to try and take one of these tadpoles.
Yeah, I'll fish one out with Mage Hand.
Okay. Yeah, you can.
Or one of these
You can
things
pick
here.
up. Yeah, you can pick up that item as your mage hand just scoops up one of these tadpoles, puts it into this container and floats it towards you. As it comes close to you, you see the tadpole just this strange looking leech like creature with a fish tail that is just, as it's swimming around and as it comes close to you, you see it just thump onto the glass as if it's trying to bite you with this mouth of teeth that are just kind of grinding against the glass. It seems very interested in you, but it is secure and safe. You have now got a little tad.
Yay, pet tadpole. I can use this on my enemies. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and point of order. Since you got that button number 4, with that also comes the attacks that would come with it, if you know what I mean.
Okay. Very nice.
So yeah, you get the basic. If you ever have a hankering for some offal, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are you guys? What are you guys doing? You are in this room. Yezot seems to be suggesting that you go back through the entrance that you came to and um, find a vantage point to look out. And apparently, he's looking for some other Githyanki ships.
Kaiya is currently eyeing this item over here, trying to fight the urge to pick up loot from a battle she didn't participate in.
Yeah, that's just the coat that's on one of the mind players.
Ulfrid?
It
Or whatever it's
doesn't
called.
seem like it's necessarily magical, but it is a very, I mean, edgy looking coat.
That look. Last one.
Okay.
You do realize they are mind flayers, right? You know, big evil things that have one big huge brain connected together.
At this, Astraea basically takes the Staff of Phoenix, slams it, and flames like at her back to it. Yeah, Thaumaturgy. It does not matter, enemy. They are dead now. Please show them the respect. Corpse fought with us. Maybe. Please.
What are you on about? They did not fight with any honor.
Hmm.
They get
They ate one of our friends' brains. You forget that, right?
They
Two
died.
of our friends.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna roll a D100 to see what she does because I'm indecisive.
They're
Okay.
also pure evil.
She wants to take the coat, it seems. She's gonna lick Astrea's face, like you get the impression that she's saying sorry. As she hops off your shoulder and morphs into her normal thingy. I think is it this one? Not sure. Oh, there we go. Nice. And she goes to pick up the coat.
okay. Yeah, you go and start taking the coat off this creature. It is, yeah, as I said, very edgy and has a very thick hood. It is a strange sort of alien fabric, but it does also basically all this will do is provide resistance to psychic damage, but it is basically a regular coat. Just yeah, very very strange style.
Okay.
By the way, I already have a really cool cloak on, and and I. Oh wait, no, never mind.
Yeah, your cloak is actually quite similar to the one that Kai just picked up, except it has got far more power flowing through it. It actually seems to move of its own accord quite often. You can every now and then see glints of starlight through the blackness of the cloak when you move. It is well, the Sakura would actually be the only person to recognize what kind of magic that is. So to the rest of you, it's just very dapper, I suppose.
Yeah.
Now I just think about the Cox stealth anime.
Oh, this wouldn't be the room to do that in. Yeah. So, what are you guys doing? Have you got a plan? Are you? Yeah. Any ideas?
She puts on the cloak. Does it look like partially similar to June's cloak, or not really?
Yeah, it's similar in the cut and the design, but the one that you picked up doesn't seem to be magical. It just seems like it's the same design, similar design.
She throws the cloak on, like Eren Yeager style, and goes up to her, grinning, and says, "Look, we match!" She's very excited.
Yay!
Shame,
This is so great.
right?
Yeah, it's so great. I love this so much.
She grins.
I
Even more.
love this. I love this. Like Sakura's turned into a fox.
Yeah, under the mask, the eyes are rolling hard, but none of you can see it.
Yep, fittingly.
I don't think you'd have to get a natural 20 to even try.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if I got a nat one. And if I did, then I'd give you a hug. But for now, she's just like giving you a nice slap on the back and skipping off to Astraea and saying, "Look, I matched with June."
Astraea looks with it. What's called basically disapproving look. Knows with. Then gets with nice.
She looks at you. She like cocks her head to the side with a very confused look and asks, "You don't like it?"
Not that I. You risk getting cursed. The effect of that. Just know that. Even thinking what.
Hey Jerry, do you have 50 gold pieces worth of chalk infused with gems lying around in your backpack by any chance, Mr. Master Smith?
Z goes, "You're looking for what? Chalk."
Infused with precious gems. Because then we'll be able to get the hell out of here very quickly. If you don't have 50 gold pieces worth of rare chalks and inks infused with precious gems, then it won't work.
Rare inks probably won't be a problem, and Z looks around at all the dead octopus-like creatures lying everywhere.
Well, you may be right about that, but I still need the chalks. Man. By the way, what's the speak of a demon monkey king? Anybody know?
Z shrugs her shoulders.
Wait. Who talked about the Demon Monkey King?
I point to Jerry.
Hmm.
I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea to try and repair the Nautiloid and have a giant ship to fly around in.
Yeah, who was actually carrying the gems from back then? I can't imagine that you guys have actually used them for anything.
We haven't, else they wouldn't be on the little equipment we had loot the world end where I discovered ocean water breathing.
Oh, is that basically what's in your bag of holding, or
This is basically I basically looked at loot one and saw like, okay, this is what we have, and there's certain stuff that I was basically bag of holding, but have no use. I the basically this shared like equipment. Whoa, wonderful.
yeah? Well, if you've got gems in there, you would know what you have. So I think Astraea probably has the answers that June is looking for. Bear in mind, the only ones that were actually involved in the demon monkey fight that are here are Jerry, Astraea, and Seto. So yeah, Astraea, you would be the only one with an answer to any of the demon monkey king questions.
Well, we gems stuff. What gem? Specific one. Type of gem.
Well, I don't think I can use gems specifically. I need chalk infused with gems, as well as rare oils infused with gem. That I think is hard to come by, and I don't think these guys are magicy. I'm pretty sure they're more Brady.
He has a kind of tilt his head as he's been thinking, and he turns and says, "We may have some alchemical equipment on, well, back at the home base, but that is quite a distance from here. I mean, these mind flayers do all sorts of crazy experiments. Maybe we can find something that you need in here. But really, I think we should go and have a look what we can find outside. I also just realized that we left my commander's blade on the Nautiloid. That blade is, well, that is the only memory we will have of her. I would like to retrieve it."
Oh, all in favor in following the green guy.
Kaiya just shrugs.
Okay. Yeah, well, I think that Jerry and Australia were already heading that way, so we'll move you over as you guys leave the Elder Brain's chambers and head back into the room where you fought off all of those intellect devourers and things.
I'll quickly have a look around this area. I doubt they'll have it anywhere else. I'll begin looking around for anything I can use as a replacement for these spell components. a teleportation circle.
Okay. Yeah. So you can give me an investigation check if you're looking around for these things.
Thing.
Sorry, I actually need to turn you up. I keep missing what you were saying. So
Cool beans. That's a natural 20.
holy shit. Okay. So yes. Just explain to me exactly what you're looking for.
So I'm currently looking for anything like rare chalks and inks that are infused with precious gems worth 50 gold pieces.
Yeah, well, what you do find is this massive, well, two things. First of all, you find this massive kind of mound of flesh that is in the middle of the room. Uh, as you go looking around, you realize that it is still pulsing with some kind of energy inside, and you realize now that it is not connected to the elder brain like you might have once thought, because this thing is still alive if it ever was even alive. But as you draw closer and closer to it, you realize that this thing is in fact some kind of a giant, like, psionic ink sac essentially, and the light that you can see from inside seems to be refracted light from small specks of crystal floating inside of this thing. um, and yeah, with a natural 20, you figure out that basically that entire thing is one giant, magically infused ink sac that could possibly work for your purposes. And as you're discovering this, welcome, Sato. And nice to see you.
Apologies. Jesus Christ. Work
No
fucking
problem.
took a toll today.
No worries. We just to catch you up. We've basically everyone's only just left the Elder Brain's chamber, and everyone's kind of figuring out where to go next. June is busy looking for the materials needed for some kind of a spell, and the Gith has said he wants to go and retrieve his commander's sword from the Nautiloid, but everyone's still kind of figuring out how they're going to get out of here.
Oof.
Yeah, June will approach the giant fleshy mound of ink and begin trying to extract around 200 gold pieces worth. So I can use teleportation circle a few more times after this.
Little did he know
Okay,
his
yeah, I mean, there's
teleportation circles teleports him to the bottom of the Iranian ocean.
you yeah, you do find also there is lots of like surgical equipment, syringes, things like that scattered all over this place. It seems like they were doing some unholy experiments for sure, but you managed to use some of that to draw out, as you said, about 200 gold's worth of this ink, which is actually only a few vials. But yeah, if you wanted, you could draw even more.
Alrighty. Yeah, I'll actually 400 gold pieces, so I don't have to worry about it for a while.
Take as much as you can.
Yeah, so actually, I'm gonna say
Mine, oh mine.
you can easily get 400 gold pieces because what you are getting is so rare that actually the value of it would be insane. But I'm gonna say roll for me a d6, and then you will get the gold value times 10. Okay, so it's 400 gold pieces.
Hey!
There we go. Cool. Okay, yes, because you wouldn't know the value of this stuff either. You wouldn't know like how much of this particular ink you might actually need for the spell. So what you draw out does equate to about 400 gold pieces worth. So
Alrighty.
yeah, you have got that. I will say, as you have been going through your arcane tome, which you have now noticed its changes, and looking through the ingredients needed, you also happen to look over the sigils that you had written in there, and the two sigils that I gave you before were ones that you have actually been to and seen with your own two eyes, that you have actually transcribed yourself. The ones that you were granted, the ones that were, well, basically you see two more sigils in the book on pages next to it that you didn't write in there. They seem to have appeared on the pages of the book themselves, possibly granted to you by your patron, or whatever turned the book into this, turned the regular book into what it is now, which I don't know if you want to explain to everyone what you are busy looking at, but you can see that these two sigils are both on the material plane, because I misread, or I didn't realize that both of both the places you get have to be on the material plane, and the two I gave you are not. So,
That's fine.
but there are two more that you can see there, which I'm going to ask you to actually roll for. So I'd like you to roll 2d12 for me, and that will determine where those lead to,
Okay.
which is honestly just hurtful for me. But oh, okay. What were the?
A 6 and a 12.
Okay, right. Well, neither of them are Kiga. Yeah. You don't know which is which. They are not labeled. These are written in just runes of, but you have got two places. Or does it specify that you would it be labeled where they are?
That's actually good.
I've got no idea. Unless someone put a name on it, I don't think so.
Uh,
It-
just
It's Neil
oh,
Buck.
hold on.
Really Neil
Just
Buck.
remind me which languages you speak, because yeah, actually, you speak the language it would be written in, which is it does say so, but it says it in the same language that was written all over the Mind Flayer ship, and so reading it is kind of confusing. It's not, they're not the names of the continents that you know, but that's mainly because you probably don't actually know all the names of the continents. I don't think June would know.
yeah, that seems fair.
Is June
I
pretty
don't know
familiar
this
with
place
the
very
world
well.
map of Giga? But one of them, um, it seems like they both lead to teleportation circles. You know that much, that these are connections to nodes somewhere on the material plane. The one that you had, the other ones that you have written in, like the one is on a demi plane, and the other, well, you know where the other one is. So just yeah, sorry, there was some, just had to get through that there, but you have now got two. So when you want to use them, tell me whether you're going for the 12 or the 6.
Yeah, I'll begin using the inks to uh, make a teleportation circle for the Ori, because that's probably the best place we can go right now.
Well, I mean, good question would be whether you can actually get out of it again.
We can.
Or
We can just get to
actually
the Feywild, and
act-
then we can use yes, while which that long I think. I'd find a way to get there.
Yeah, June, with your 19 intelligence, you would now know that you would be able to identify that the spell is limited to planar, to the plane that you're on. and that is a demi-plane. So there is a chance that it could work. There is a chance that it could backfire, but it is not as surefire as using one of the material plane ones. But it is possible to get to a demi-plane. Probably wouldn't be. It would probably be easier to actually get to those places from a permanent teleportation circle, like the place that would lead you, that the spell would lead you to. But yeah, you can do it. I'm just saying that it could go wrong.
This feels like one of those moments where the DM says, is basically saying, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And I'm gonna trust the DM this time.
That's the worst that
Because
can happen.
last time the DM said, "Are you sure you want to do that?" I turned into a mind flare. So I'm definitely. I'll select one of the locations that go to the material plane. I'll select the number 6. And I'll just say it to everybody. I'm not entirely sure where this teleportation will go, but it will be on the material plane. That's what I do know.
Well, in the worst case, it's just my master's place and you are uninvited. Well, best case, it doesn't work. The other case, he just ends up like moss on section ends.
Okay, so we can get to that in a minute. But while you were busy drawing the ink from this sack, what was everybody else doing?
I would be going to the room. I think this room. Basically looking around, like to see if there was any strugglers or I could find that. No one told me to jump off, so yeah.
Yeah, Kaiya kind of wants to go to like the exits on the cliffside to see where it actually leads.
Okay. I'd like both of you to give me perception checks as you make your way over there.
Oh shit!
As you guys are making your way over there, you hear the sounds of some sort of screeching, which you recognize to be one of those intellect devourers being killed. You heard that sound a couple of times in the battle before. But as you guys make your way through the tunnel, you can hear that these sounds of combat are coming from the other side of that doorway. And oh, that ship is not where it's supposed to be. Is it?
Ah, there's a ship in space.
No, oh, I noticed where it landed. It basically landed directly into the cliff. It basically collided. Oh my god, maybe we have shipwrecked the gifts now. Because they were drunk or something.
Okay, there. It shouldn't be actually on the cliff now, but you can see through the door, which is open, you can see a couple of Gith that have just disembarked a flying airship from, well, that you can barely see through this doorway, but you can see them busy executing the last of those intellect devourers as they are disembarking. The two of you hear this before you see it, but you are able to get into that room without them noticing you or anything like that. And meanwhile, as this is happening, okay, I'll get back to you in a second, Jerry. So yeah, what are you guys doing as you see this?
Kaiya wants to sneak to get the last shiny that she missed earlier.
Okay, are you gonna go take the eyeball out of the chamber?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. It is now those intellect devourers that were in here. You've just seen being killed outside, so there's not as much of a threat in here anymore.
Awesome. Just waiting for my map.
Oh, I wondered. Oh, yes.
Okay, so Astraea, what do you? Sorry, I missed that there. What are you doing?
I'm basically just moving close and like looking if I can see like the insect one like there's any like sign of that or those skiths are hostile or something because who knows maybe this skith isn't nice kind of.
Yeah. Okay, so are you trying to sneak up to the door
I'm carefully approaching, like basically trying to give the impression that I don't have any hostile intentions. I
there? Okay.
think sneaking would most likely be.
Yeah, you can do that. Just give me a perception check then as you try and look out there and see if you can see that insectoid creature.
Can I figure out what it does?
It's an eyeball. You would need to cast identify or something like that to figure out its magical properties. Um, but Astraea with a 24, yeah, you definitely can't see the insectoid creature. You do see uh, the last of these thralls and intellect devourers that have just been killed by the Gith, and the Gith seem to be wearing similar armor and outfits to the commander and the other warriors that you saw, other than the two who were dressed in Kigani outfits. Um, and yeah, what you are actually seeing outside, I'm going to show you now. There we go. So yeah, you can see this ship now, kind of just hovering outside this giant moat that you were looking out onto this little cliffside that they've just jumped down onto, and they seem to notice you, and they are raising their swords, but they don't seem to be attacking. They just seem to be looking at you very carefully and curiously. What are you doing?
Well, yeah. Presume that the gift doesn't speak comments and there is no like like Kigani or any other Iranian like gear on them to indicate that they may have Irania.
No, not on these ones.
But they don't whatever I say as a threat. Set the spell slot to cast, attack slot to be correct. Best understand them and say, "Are you with Jessic or something?
Yezot is the one that you've been
Are you
with.
with Yesat and whoever that commander went to attack the mind flayers at noon?"
One of them that seems to be leading the charge, he puts a hand up in the air as you speak, like in fluent Gith, as that is how he's hearing it, and he just calls off the other two as he nods and says, well, yes, we are. Are you the ones that killed the ancient? And he starts looking, trying to look behind you to see if there's anyone else in the room. Just manages to see Kaiya's. She's busy looking at this eyeball, and you can now see them outside as well, peering in towards you, Kaiya.
Yes, I am the one. Yes, I'm part of the that took down the big brain thing and the mind flay.
Where is Yezot? Did he make it?
Yes, that he is fine. I point towards this here. Like he should be like down that hall in the next room with the rest of my party.
You see a strange smile spread across his face as he extends a hand to you to shake your hand, and he says, "All right, thank you. Well done." And you can see this look of elation on his face. They all seem to look kind of delighted at what's happened, except for one of the Gits standing outside who just keeps stabbing at one of these brains on the ground.
What happened? I just got back.
So you've just picked up that eyeball and seen that Astraea has started speaking to the Gith outside. She is using tongues so that they can understand her, and the one seemed to just extend a hand to shake hers.
Okay. She's gonna walk up to Astraea and then look at the Gith and cock her head to the side.
Yeah, he will then just, as Astraea, are you shaking his hand?
I am shaking his hands, and I guess
Okay.
that's a custom with them. Like it could be a custom. Doesn't seem to be
Yes.
the bowing thing.
Yeah, it's probably something you haven't seen in a while, but he gives you a firm handshake and then extends a hand to you as well, Kaiya, just realizing that you two are clearly part of the same party, and he is extending a hand to you as well.
She what does she do? What do they do in the Feywild? She's just gonna go up and like envelop him in a big hug.
And he will reciprocate 100%. He is.
Oh
You
wow!
can feel that he is in this sort of celebratory mood. You guys just saved or just did something that his people have been working towards for a long time. So this is, yeah, he seems to get along with you well. Meanwhile, in the other room, Jerry, as you were asking Yezot how long it would take to get to Kiga by spaceship, he says, well, on the Nautiloid, we could probably get maybe one of your days round about then. But yes, on one of our airships, it would be about the same. You just bear in mind you've got to cross the astral sea. There could always be delays. And he is currently walking up towards the same tunnel that Astraea and Kaiya went through. Are you going to be following him, or you can see June still busy drawing ink out of this giant thing, just going through her book and whatnot? Okay, I don't know if he's actually there. But yeah, at this point, sorry, I was just saying that June is still busy drawing the ink from this thing as Yezot is making his way towards where Kaiya and Astraea went to. Are you following with him, or are you staying behind in that chamber where June is still? Okay, cool. So you guys are walking up together. Seto, are you back yet?
I've been here.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. I saw you said BRB, but then I didn't see it back. Maybe that was Kai. Anyway, what are you doing here as you see this all unfolding as well, as they are heading up towards the tunnel?
I would probably, assuming that I'd already held Sakura's body, I will just look at June and tell her to not take too long, and just continue following Jerry.
Okay, yeah, you guys, you have managed to secure Sakura's body, and June, are you still taking care of Monta's body?
Yes, I've been moving it around as I go.
Yeah,
And
that's cool.
as everybody pretty much leaves June alone in this room, she says, "That's fine. Leave me alone in the room with all the dead brains and mind flares. That's fine.
When
I
it
I
is
am now talking to
still
myself."
and eerie, and there is, it is so still now that everything is is basically dead here. You can hear muffled voices from where the rest of them are heading, but yeah, the the brains lying all over the room are rather disturbing.
Yep, this is fine. And as I continue extracting inks and stuff.
You did say you're taking the bodies of Sakura and Mato with, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Seto has Sakura's body. I have Mata's body.
Nice.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to worry about moving the tokens around right now, but they are with you, and Z will, as you call out June, she'll kind of stay behind in the tunnel and just keep a watch. But yeah, the rest of you, Jerry, Seto, and Yezot, is the three of you into the chamber. You see this creature busy giving a big hug to Kaiya as they are in the doorway, and you see Yezot kind of throw his hands out and shout something out in Gith that you just understand to be the word, like a word of affection. You're not entirely sure, even with tongues, the direct translation, but something close to brother or something like that. Yeah, Jerry and Seto, what are you guys doing as you arrive on the scene?
Bum, 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 bum.
Last time we took a chance, we ended up in a den of fucking mind flayers. If it's gonna take a day, it's gonna take a day. We should probably just ask for favor from these kids and just get back home safely.
Yeah, I think Kaiya would agree with you. Let's go with the Gith.
At this point, you see the other Gith now just giving a hug to Yezot, and the two of them just excitedly talking about what had just happened, and Yezot busy explaining that the battle that they had just been in. You can hear the other one, they are speaking in Gith, but some of you can understand it. He's just explaining this whole situation, explaining how the commander had died, and that these strangers had helped him, but he keeps reiterating the phrase that, brother, it was true. All the prophecies were true. and the other one looks very excited by this prospect. As they are standing there, you see the other two enter, and they go into the room, just giving you respectful nods as they head into the tunnels, and they go to investigate the nautiloid. They are going to just be heading up there, and yeah, what is everyone doing?
Kaiya will ask what prophecies they talk of.
Yezot will respond, "Oh, well, I spoke with an oracle when I was a boy, and she told me that I would be the one to slay the ancient elder with a samurai, a noble samurai at my side. And look, I mean, I could never have predicted this." You hear the other one laughing, and he says, "Well, I hope it's true for me too, then, brother." And it seems like they have got some sort of like they got their fortunes told once, and it has come true for Yezot that now suddenly it makes sense to you why he was so blindly determined and sure that all of this would work. Whether he was going to die or not, you realize now he might have just been insanely believing in some kind of a destiny.
Oh, I guess Kaya will realize. Yeah, she's pretty smart. She will go to tell June that we have an escape plan, so she doesn't need to do the circle.
You see June's hands like covered in ink from extracting all the ink, and she if she didn't have a mask on, she'd have a really pissed off face. But she just says, "Really?"
Well, she'll come running in. She'll be like, "Ohio!" She's overly tearful as usual. I imagine that annoys her even more.
Oh yeah.
Just putting in that detail, so just got to make it even worse for June, So she comes in. She's like, "Oh, you don't need to bother with that. It's all good. We have a plan. Some Gith friends came to pick us up. But that's some nice art you got going there. You should make some more art when we get back, or something."
I'm assuming at this point I'm still extracting the ink and stuff, right, Dan?
Yeah, at this point you've just finished getting it. It's like you've just managed to get it all. You're ready to prepare the spell as you were describing before. You've just gotten to that point, and that's when Kaya walks in and starts saying this. As you said, you covered in ink. It's it's been a messy process to get all this stuff ready, but yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
then in that case, she won't say the stuff about the art.
Well,
Yeah.
it does look like he's been finger painting with ink.
Okay,
So this is
that-
June right now.
then in that case, if it looks like Truna's been finger painting, then she will say the stuff about the art.
She walks towards Kaya, and walks past and says, "Not a word. Just stop
No.
talking, please.
As she
No
walks
more
past,
words."
Kaya clicks her fingers and prestidigitates you. It prestidigitates you.
I mean, I was about to do that anyway, but okay. I was about to do that, and she carries on walking past.
Kaya feels proud of herself and follows happily.
You are just way too cheerful right now. I don't like that.
All right, so are you guys all gonna board the Githyanki's airship?
Might as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I
Oh,
just
yeah.
realized is the map all fucked up for you guys, or was I moving things out of frame?
I see two airships.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought that was just me.
No, please tell me if that happens, because I only just realized that all the lights and everything are off to the side, but doesn't matter. You guys all managed to, as this takes a little while, but the other two head upstairs and they manage to retrieve the blade, and everyone eventually makes their way onto the Githyanki's airship, as you should be going over there now.
Cool.
I'm on a boat. On a boat.
And as you guys are heading up, you see now all around you, like high in the sky, you can see loads of these ships just peppered all throughout the sky. It seems like they have all moved in closer, like this was all some kind of an actual battle plan for them, that they are now moving in and taking care of any stray mind flayers trying to escape from this bubble. I'm sure some of them will get through, but you can see that they are making a valiant effort to try and stop them. But at this point, you guys board the ship, which you can see that there are lights currently shining down as they activate it, and it rises up into the air, starts moving away through the fog, and you start moving away from the citadel, out of the range of this nightmare that you found yourselves in. And they all seem very quiet at first as they get the ship moving, but you seem to be on your way out. What is everybody doing?
Yeah, as we're flying away from the ships, as soon as we're out of a decent distance away, I'll shout, I'll shout towards the ships. You can go home now. We've done your job for you. Oh wait, they couldn't understand us anyway. I still shout that.
Yeah, you see, as you are boarding the ship, the other Gith that are on this ship are just letting out cheers, and they seem to be celebrating the fact that you have just done their job for them. Um, but yeah, the the other ships seem very busy. Although as you are now flying through this, you see the captain, the one that goes up to the helm, that was the one shaking your hands. You see him slipping something out of his pocket and handing one to one of his other shipmates, who then proceeds to go below deck. But he puts it into his mouth. It looks kind of like a hunter's diaphragm that you would make to use like bird sounds or whatever. But as he puts this into his mouth, you see this little flash of light, and he has also now got the tongue's effect on him, as he starts cheering you on as well and welcoming you all onto his ship. He introduces himself as Captain Jezza.
Okay.
And yeah. So he takes flight. What are you guys doing now that you're on the... That's the guy, by the way.
Nice.
Right, it looks like a pirate. Space pirate.
Indeed, he does.
Bum, 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 bum.
Mm.
Well, yeah, he is now speaking in common. The captain, as well as Yezot, the two of them are now able to speak common.
Nice. seeing as no one else is doing anything, Kaiya is going to go into fox form, curl up somewhere, and go to sleep.
All right.
Okay, where are you gonna? Are you on the map?
Yes,
Ye-
there.
Yeah, this the captain will tell you that you feel free to take a rest. He's sure you could use it. There are rooms that his men will happily lend to you, but if you'd like to head below deck as well, you can find a place to rest in the hull.
Kaiya will head towards wherever he said the rooms are and find something soft to curl up on.
Yeah, you should be able to see the rooms on your map inside the ship.
There we go. Oh, she curls up at like the foot of the bed. Small bean.
Okay, so the Gith will turn to you, Jerry, and say, "Oh, well, probably not mind flayers. They will have been sent out all over the place now. But I could get you back for a price, assuming you're willing to make the journey across the astral sea, of course. But yeah, you're right. Probably not more than one of your days, though there are aboleths, star spawn, all kinds of awful creatures out there. That plenty of nasty things between here and your world, but nothing I can't handle. However, if I am to put my ship through such a thing, I'll require a substantial incentive. I'm sure you understand."
Did I just hear what I thought I heard?
Yeah. This motherfucker.
This bitch.
This cunt is.
Oh, come on then. You're telling me with all those fancy weapons you ain't got no gold to spare? Nothing what might make a fellow like myself more inclined to cooperate? I find that hard to believe.
Party just defeated their foe and now he wants gold.
Seth is gonna grab a bag from his pocket that holds 1,442 gold, and he's gonna toss him a bag full of 1,442 gold.
Why?
We can't use it anyways because we use Koku, so gold is irrelevant to us.
But it's shiny and it's ours.
I just imagine basically what's she called? June has like basically have made a deal with the dragon. Like, okay, you're getting this, and in exchange, yeah, something. Then he's like, oh, I'm sneaking back and stealing it. Then when the dragon basically flips out, then his excuse is like, but it's shiny. That's how that rogue ended up. Left with a crossbow bolt in his right foot. A 3.0 story.
The captain will catch this bag of coins and just look up at you with the most excited look on his face ever, as he says, "Oh yeah, that's more like it. All right then, Samurai, you've got yourself a deal. I'll need a little time to prepare, but give us an hour or two once we're out of this place, and sure, I'll get you back to your homeland, lickety split. he looks completely overjoyed by the bag of gold, and you can see that Yezot is just like holding his head in his hands at the same time, just trying really hard not to react.
June is currently speechless as she just saw Serta handle over more gold than most peasants make in their entire life. Captain, do you have any place where we can keep two of our dead compatriots?
Oh, well, sure. There's plenty of space in that hole. You can take them down there. And at this point, you can see that the ship has started to move out of that dense fog around the citadel and is now flying above these islands. You are starting to get close to the actual edge of this bubble that sort of holds all of these islands together. That is the moon you all know of. But yeah, he directs you below deck, which he says that there will be plenty of space there.
Cool.
There is actually another map for below deck if you want to go there. So just it's not just saying that.
I'll begin taking down the bodies of our compatriots down to the hole, just so it's out of the way of everybody.
Okay. Yeah. You head down into the hull. What's everyone else doing up top?
Astraea will be going up Jessic and bring out a black book and a feather and saying like, kind of write your name here. And she basically goes to like one page, like back of the book, or almost the back of the book.
He gives a very suspicious look and says, "And what is this for?"
Well, it is merely so I can contact you in case, say, we ran over mind flayers or maybe an elder brain. Need some help with it. Assume you would mind that, of course.
Absolutely, yes. He will happily sign his name there, and he points to the earring. I have a similar thing. If you need me, just if you speak about me, I should be able to feel it with this. And gestures to the earring he was using to also cast sending early on. Using Death Note, holy shit.
So I was about to say, giving me hectic Death Note vibes here.
Heart attack on Guild Commander in 3, 2, 1.
No, nothing like that. It just explodes like and then there comes a dancing alien out.
That's not only killed by heart attack or suffocation.
Yeah, you can actually describe like you could actually write like, example, Jessex jumps into a volcano on this date, and he would do it.
It can't be unrealistic. It has to be realistic, else like it can't be an impossible thing for them to do. So
No,
anything within
note that I said the date. So let's say I wrote like, let's say 24th, and he was at a place where there's a volcano. But that's just extra. I could also write.
Don't tempt me to homebrew a Death Note magic item, please. You want to see a campaign derail?
Oh man, just imagine that, like, oh, Astraea has just been writing, like, having, like, oh, Eins, Sakuras, Mortas, and other people's name, and it's like, I wonder why they all die.
Yeah. Whoops. So, June, as you head below deck, you can see that one of the Gith, that the one that seemed kind of grumpy earlier, is just busy operating what seems to be some sort of machinery connected to a large crystal in the middle of the room, which you have now, I think you might have actually seen at this point, and you would be able to identify, I think, with an Arcana check. But it
thing.
seems to be whatever's powering the ship, this giant crystal.
18 on Arcana.
Okay, yeah, you recognize that as gravitite, which is a mineral found on Kaiya, and it seems to be all over those floating islands. It seems to be quite a common element around here, and they seem to be using it as a power source for their ship. It seems to be what's keeping it airborne.
All right. I'll walk towards her and ask, "Hi, are there any places I can put my two dead compatriots for safekeeping?"
One bitch.
Oh,
One
you
is with me.
not letting Sakura out of your sight?
Nah, that ain't going anywhere.
I
Oh,
feel
wait,
like with
are you
Seto
keeping her body with you?
What?
I feel like with Seto around, it's like a definite that Sakura's gonna come back.
Sure, pretty much.
As I said, we only need let's
Olympus will fall
what is
if
it?
needed.
Yeah, we only need some rare oils and burn cell.
Nice.
Well, I mean, I will say one of those locations June got might be helpful for that. But anyway, the Gith just looks at the body that you're carrying and doesn't seem to understand what you're actually saying, but understands your intent and just kind of points to a set of double doors at the end of the room and says something in Gith. Can you? You don't have any way of understanding it, do you?
Tongues, I
Nope.
think.
I do
Cast
have
tongue.
tongues.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, at this,
I'll
she
pass
seems
tongues
to
to
just be
understand.
giving you enough directions with her hands. You probably wouldn't need actual words. She's pointing you. She kind of points you to the double doors and then gestures as if you should just make a right.
Alrighty. I'll make my way through, look for a nice, somewhat clean area, just to keep her.
Okay, yeah, you will be able to find something fairly decent there. The main area that you go into, it looks like it should be to hold cannons and things, but there are a couple of hammocks hanging there, and it seems clean enough to hold it for now.
Alright.
You can also see at the other end of the ship, through another set of open double doors. Those are open at the moment. You can see two other Gith that are just sitting at a table. They seem to be in conversation and possibly playing, like, gambling or something. They seem to be rolling dice.
After setting down her body, June would be immediately interested and start making her way to see what game they're playing.
Okay. Yeah, you can, as you're doing that, what's happening above deck? Is anyone else heading below, or is there anything you guys want to do while you're up there?
Whereas you will be find some serve the astral also sitting comfortable. That book. Unless that has been
Yeah, it seems to still be on you. Yeah, you are able to do that. Now, I was going to. Okay, sorry, never mind. Yeah, so as you guys are all sort of settling in there, you feel this lurch of the ship, and I will need everyone to make an athletics or an acrobatics check, just to brace against the impact as you guys break through the barrier that is this bubble surrounding the entire place.
$27 for Jerry.
Okay, yeah, you all manage to make your saves. Kaiya, your footing is a little bit unstable. It's you well, you're asleep at this point already, curled up on a bed, and you just get sort of flung across the bed and slammed into the side of the wall for a second. It wakes you, but it doesn't hurt you or anything. You
Okay.
manage to make your way back to sleep.
He emits a small yelp of surprise before hopping back onto the bed.
All right. So yeah, you guys have now broken. You are officially in the astral sea and uh, basically floating through space, which is the same thing in this game. Is there anything else the guys upstairs wanted to do? Seto, Jerry, anything?
I thought I would be going downstairs as well.
Okay.
Just going into one of the rooms, placing Sakura's bodies, getting outside of the room, in front of the door, sitting and contemplating in order how to do anything. I don't know. Pretty much just thinking about how to bring Sakura back, or essentially get enough power to just fuck anybody up, even if it's God, in order to bring her back. One of those options. I still don't know.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. So I'm trying to run two maps at once is a bit much. Yeah, you will arrive and see the same things that June was seeing. You see the Skith busy tinkering with whatever that crystal is in the middle of the room, and you will easily manage to find a little spot to put Sakura. Oh, did any of what I just said come through?
Everything came.
Yeah, same here. Seto, you're muted, by the way.
I'm here. I'm certain I wasn't muted while I was talking.
No,
No.
I think Seto he himself up.
Yeah, because I like to commentate a lot and I don't want everybody to hear it.
I should probably do that.
And I laugh a lot, so.
Sorry, my everything was just lagging out for me there. I was just trying to make Seto's token invisible. Holy shit. Yeah, but you see, what I was trying to say is you see the same things as June, and now you can see that June's just approached this table where the two Gith are playing some sort of a dice game, and June, I'm not sure. You can give me an investigation check or just a perception to see if you recognize this game.
Yeah, I'll use perception. Good thing I did. 19.
Okay, yeah, you have seen this game played by various, usually people that have something to do with ships, but it is called, well, it has got different names, but it is ship captain crew, I think. Of Yeah, sorry, I've forgotten it myself, honestly.
Is that the one
But
the
yeah,
guard
ship
basically
captain
got
crew.
destroyed in?
It's that same game that you guys were playing in Baldur's Gate. It's a pretty common dice game, but basically the point is to roll and they're rolling a bunch of d6 and trying to collect them in the right order.
4, 5, 6.
Yeah, you will recognize this as a game that you do know how to play, June.
All right.
And you can see that they are currently gambling on their game. It seems like this is probably something that happens a lot on this ship, especially based on the captain that you saw. You get the impression that these are like astral pirates as much as they are a military force. They are probably more independent than, yeah, you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll look at the game. I'll take a seat at the table. Gesture to them that I would like to join because I don't think we speak the same language.
All right. Yeah, they will nod and they'll tap to the gold coins that are sitting on the table and just kind of gesture as if you need to buy in, but you can absolutely join them if you want.
Yeah, I'll definitely join. I'll
Okay.
put in 5 gold pieces and just start.
Okay, cool. So I probably should have pulled up the rules for this. So I think how it
We
works
can
is you roll.
we can just hand wave it if you want and just roll something to see how well I do if you want.
No,
I
well,
think I have.
we'll just do a round. Yeah, I've also got them sitting here somewhere, but if you could look those up, Astraea, that would be great. But I'm pretty sure you roll 5d6, and then you're trying to get a 6 is your captain. A 6 is your captain. A 5 is your crew. No, it's your ship. Like, hold on.
Let's see.
Yes.
So the 6 is the ship, the 5 is the captain, and a 4 is the crew.
Oh, you got it there. Oh, thank goodness. All right, I was busy looking for that PDF. Have you got the rules there as well?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so you can make your roll.
Alrighty. So just roll a d6, hey? Or 5d6.
I think it's 5. Um, I'm not sure. Sorry, the rules are still opening for me here.
Oh, roll the dice up to 3 times to determine the final score.
Ah, yes. Okay, so it's 3. You're trying to get your ship, your captain, and your crew.
I got I think the ship and the captain.
Okay, so then you can re-roll. So you keep those, and then you can try and re-roll to get the others.
Alright, so do I just roll another 3d6?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So okay, finally it loaded for me. So first of all, you place your bet. How many gold were you putting in there?
5 gold pieces.
Okay, so 5 gold pieces, and then yeah. So you will start because you've just joined, and then did you get a 6 and a 5? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, so you can keep those. Now you want to try and get a 4, and then um yeah, you're trying to now get a 4 after that because you want to get a 6, a 5, and a 4 in that order.
Alright. So do I just roll another 3d6 or
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
first roll of no 6 strand, then I'll do it if a 6 but no 5 strands be kept, but all 4 other dice must be re-rolled.
Okay, so you can't. Yeah, if a 6 and a 5 are showing, but no 4 is showing, the 6 and 5 may be kept, but the other 3 dice must be re-rolled. So you re-roll the 3d6.
Alrighty.
then yeah, the other dice are your treasure. So you're trying to get all 3 of those, and then more treasure than your opponent.
All right.
Okay, you got a 4, nice, and 2 6s. Holy shit!
Yes.
Okay, so you did as well as you could have possibly done. Let's see if the gets beats. He's going to roll, and oh, he gets them all, but he gets only 4 treasure. So you win the pot of 5 gold, and you just see the gift kind of slam his fist on the table, and then just gesture to go again and to go again. And Seto, at this point, you arrive just as they are rolling the dice, and June has just won her first hand. So yeah, you guys can. I mean, we can just say that you continue gambling if you like, but if you guys want to play against each other, you're welcome to have a quick round, or if Seto wants to join in, I don't know.
Not at the
It depends on
moment.
what Zeta wants to do.
Yeah, not in the moment.
Okay. Yeah. So, June, do you want to play another round, or are we just gonna say that you sit there?
Yeah, I think I'll just say I'll sit here and try bankrupt these guys.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So in that case, roll a d100 for me.
Sure thing.
Is that to see how many exhaustion he takes?
58.
Okay, you managed to get another 58 gold off of these guys before they eventually give up and don't want to play with you anymore. But one of them does say he tries to communicate to you, and yeah, that's the trouble of this. So he tries to communicate to you that he doesn't want to play anymore, but that you should speak to the captain, that the captain will make any bet.
Ooh.
So yeah, he manages to get the point across to you. It takes a while over these games, but eventually you get the idea that the captain himself will bet on pretty much anything.
All right.
At this point, you guys have been on the ship for quite a while now. It's the early hours of the morning in Arania, and they have agreed to take you straight to Arania. If you guys would like to take a long rest, you're more than welcome to do that now. I think Kaiya's already been doing that for a little while, and
Astraea has been doing it by reading.
yeah, some light reading for you. Is everyone else going to settle down for their long rest?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, you can all take a long rest, and you wake up still soaring through the stars the following day. When you guys all actually wake up, you find that the other airships that you'd seen dotted around, quite a few of them have come to rejoin you in this travel. It seems like that they were actually part of a fleet that has now moved back in together. And in the morning, you also see, as you're arriving, you can see that the Nautiloid has been retrieved from that citadel, and it has managed to just sort of start to catch up to you guys by now, as they're all flying together through the astral sea. And this is where you all find yourselves.
Oh yeah, most likely in the darkness.
Naturally.
Let's see. That's actually cool.
Wait, can you guys see the map?
I cannot see anyone because I got a message. Go blah blah blah. Don't have it spoken, but version. And the staff recovers basically pretty much almost all its touches.
You have gone past dawn now. Finally. I
Yeah,
also have
yeah. It basically it says here the stuff again. 4 D knife 1 D 4 much daily at dawn, and the thing we don't happen. Blah. Not like cover. Oh.
I can't see the map. Oh, never mind. It's here.
Oh, yeah, that puts that thing in perspective.
Bum 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 ba-dum bum bum ba-dum bum bum ba-ba-bum.
yeah, sorry, I'm lagging so badly. Just give it a sec. Okay, so can you all see the map now?
Mhm.
All right, so that
Oh
thing
wait,
ahead
so
of you, you now see coming into view closer and closer as being the, the planet of Arania, and you are on board one of those ships, hurtling towards it at insane speeds. You can see all sorts of strange things floating through the stars around you. Hard to make out, but every now and then you can see something moving through the shadows and seemingly like rising up out of pure darkness and splashing almost out of the darkness in waves of color and like nebulous light as you see strange creatures swimming around you, but you are making your way ever closer to the planet as you all this is where you find yourselves the following day. You've probably got about another half a day of travel left. Anything you guys want to do while you're out there?
Don't
I
think
just
at
kind
the
of looks at it in wonder.
So at this point, the following morning, Yezot would make his way around to kind of come and speak to you guys, and again would bring up the question, asking you guys what you were actually doing when when the princess was in danger and you killed that creature, what you had been doing for it. He's very intrigued into that particular topic. But yeah, other than that,
Yeah, what were you guys doing with what is this thing that they were talking about?
Yeah,
What were they fighting?
I'm also pretty confused.
he's asking about the and I thought you had actually already done that, Jerry, or does it only last for a day, the gentle repose?
Lasts for 10 days, doesn't it?
As for days,
Okay. Yeah. Well, you will be able to ensure that they are. I thought you had cast it before, but anyway, yeah, you are able to cast it now and stop them from decomposing. I'm pretty sure you did cast it before, though. Yeah, you guys have got some time to chat amongst yourselves and get any questions that you want to ask, do anything like that. As you are, it's going to take a while. You are traveling all the way home, and yeah, there's some decent downtime to spend here. If you guys want to spend some time reading or training or doing anything, now's the chance.
Oh yeah, that's actually a perfect opportunity to finish reading that book, the Tomb of Understanding. Let's see, I think I made it to 22 hours last time before everything went whack. 22
Okay, how
hours out of
many
48.
out of 28? Okay, yeah, I mean you could
Out of
probably.
48.
Oh, all right, yeah. So there'd be some opportunity to catch up on some reading. So yeah, I did actually do all the math on how like how long it would take you at the speed that these things can travel, and it would basically take you a full 22 hours to get back. You've slept through 8 of those, and you were probably on the ship for like 2 or 3 hours before you actually got to go to bed. Maybe not that long, maybe an hour or two. So we'll say you've got 12 hours between uh, when you wake up and when you should arrive on Arania, barring no other mishaps.
Cool.
Okay,
I'll add those hours in because I'd probably be using it to read for most of it.
I guess Kaiya would ask the party what they plan to do when they get back. I mean, I don't think she's actually ever been to Arena itself. She's just chilled in the Feywild. So she's very interested to know what you actually plan to do there.
Are you asking Seto, I'm assuming?
Well, just everyone. Probably if everyone's like doing their different stuff, then she might go and ask them each one by one what they plan to do.
Yeah, I think at this point you can. It's this is over the whole time that you are traveling, so you guys can speak freely. It's just role play as you want.
Everybody's so
She'll go
quiet.
to Dreamfest. Because Dream is her favorite, obviously.
For
For
some
whatever
reason.
reason. I don't fucking know. But I why? I don't know, but she just is. And it's like, oh, so what do you plan to do when we get back?
I have not thought that far ahead, as she's still reading through a book.
Oh, what
Let's
reading?
see. This is my tome of knowledge and eldritch magic. I close it as you try and probably peek closer at it.
Hmm.
Don't come near it. It's my book.
She looks sad.
Yeah.
She just looks at you with puppy eyes.
Just to
Well,
describe the book, it's a the cover looks to be made out of like purple leather, with the uh with the I guess the corners of it, and sorry, it has a lining of what looks like bronze plates, and it has like a purple sigil on the front and back of it, and it's
mm,
those purple sigils are glowing.
She wants to touch it. She's a curious thing. She reaches out to try and touch the sigil.
Shocking grasp.
No! Why please tell me I have shield or something? I didn't take shield up. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Actually, can bards have shield?
No, you cannot have shield without either going. You need the magic initiative or take other class.
Kaiya,
R.I.P. Spike.
you get like legitimately electrocuted, like cattle prodded off. It's just, I mean, you can describe how comically you are.
No
Did
one
not
can it in like specifically kids cartoons where like they jump and everything and their fur goes on end and they like arch their backs. She's doing that, but she's kind of in human form, so it's like more of a like shoulders up to her neck, like shoulders all like up to her chin, I guess. It's an icky feeling. She doesn't like it.
Yeah, you hear this crack and just hear this, like, you can actually just see the smoke rising up off of hers, the hair's standing on end.
I did
Dude,
warn you.
what is this with that from your perspective?
Uh, um, she's given off this aura of, yeah, I knew that would happen. I totally knew that would happen. On the inside, she's, oh damn, I should really learn how to use that. But yeah, she looks at Kaiya and says, I did warn you a few times to not come close to my book.
And as the smoke dissipates, she is in her baby fox form, and she looks very sad. She's looking at you with big wide eyes.
I mean,
As
I
she
can
makes
shock you in
sad
baby
sounds-
form as well.
As she makes sad sounds and tries to guilt trip you into saying sorry.
I open my cloak a bit to let my fairy dragon come out, and I look at it. It's like, and I just point towards the little fox that's trying to guilt trip me, and just say, "Can you believe this thing trying to guilt trip me like this? Can you believe it?"
Yeah, the little fairy dragon is definitely going to turn and just laugh at the little puffball of a fox that is still sitting there. Meanwhile, outside you can see Jerry keeps throwing a javelin off of the ship, and Spike is flying around catching it midair. It's quite a performance. A couple of the Gith have gathered around to watch as. Yeah, they haven't. I don't think any of them have seen a winged dog before, and especially one that can teleport around like that. They're all quite enjoying it. You also see that joining some of these ships, and as Spike leaps off of the edge of the ship to go and retrieve one of these javelins, you see him come flying back, like with this look of terror in his eyes, as he is immediately followed up by a giant red dragon who just comes floating up next to the ship, and you can see a Gith sitting on its back. It's just busy riding along, and they seem to all be in together in this like bubble of force that is, or like a sort of gravity well that everyone's flying through, and these dragons are just surfing on top of it with their Githyanki riders. But Spike has a very close encounter with one of them before he retrieves the javelin and brings it back to you, Jerry. June, how could you shock something that cute?
Don't worry, I've got a meme in the making for it. It'll work perfectly.
Like, goodness, what is wrong with you? The fox just looks very sad. Actually, hmm. 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 She could do intense damage, but you know what? She's not going to lower herself to the level of mortals.
That's on point.
Yeah, Jin continues reading her book and laughing at the cute fox in pain.
She again, doing exactly what she did the day before. She's going to go running to Astraea. Because like she feels like Astraea is the one who's most likely to have a soft spot for like small cute animals.
You're also both fake creatures. They're like the satyr of face, so they got to stick together.
Right, exactly. So she runs over to Astraea. Like she's basically at half health.
Well, when Astraea sees, the first thing she does is like with her her left hand, she does some motion. Two of her healing die, healing light dice. Well, it's then basically with the other box with the staff of heat able to on her.
Thank you. And what is Astraea doing while this is happening actually? Well, before Kaiya got there, what was she doing?
Well, that's 16. Well, what she would guess she would be like talking to Jessica, like not sure what creature. Guess you mean the fake eating. I will out her chest and yes, he would. He basically out and does the thing to open the special room and have her mage hand grab him and said he was basically sent to retrieve this diamond. I'm not sure. This seems pretty fancy. That maybe could be because
So are you showing this to the captain and Yezad?
yes,
You will see their eyes go wide, and you see Yezot lean in and like trying desperately not to actually just grab it out of the air, but he motions his hand forward like he wants to touch it, and he says, This cannot be. Is this really?" And you see him shaking his head, and he says, "But where did you find this? Look, you must understand the wars between the mind flayers and the Gith and everything out here. They all started over a lost artifact. We think that that's what they were searching for. It's some kind of map of the cosmos. Lorifax offered a reward to anyone who finds it, rulership over their own domain. Could this be? Have you used it?" And he's now just trying to examine the diamond.
no. After fake eating I was dealt with frail, I found it best to tuck it away. That was the safest place.
Well, I don't know who that Ide Kaio was, but The creature that, well, the fake one that you spoke of, I can guarantee you was no normal mortal. That was probably an experiment of the mind flayers. We have seen similar things. We call them the obelix. They are rare, but we figured that it may have something to do with those mind flayers. If that is what they were looking for, that could be the artifact we've been. Look, have you even tried to activate it? Have you seen what it can do? All we really know about the artifact is that it's a map, but we have seen stranger things than maps stored in crystals.
Oh, I basically first put it away like normal room, then later data decide or secure room. So I have played around with and a diamond and fort.
Okay, sorry, I lagged out there. What did you just say, Astraea? Did you just all I heard was no?
I basically said that what I said was so I first put it away in the you say less secure part of the chest, and then later move it to a more secure one in case kill it, and out of that I haven't really played around with it. Seems just like a diamond with pipes, and who knows, but it was so Kaiya, so Kaiya's.
He just gestures to it and says, "May I?" And he's asking if he can actually touch it and hold it himself.
I just like does a little hand motion, the hold the eight hand, rub it in his hands to love eye out. So
Yeah, it's at this point that Kaiya arrives, and you see it looking all shocked and beaten up.
Oh yeah, I forgot that I actually have uncanny dodge, so I can actually just half the damage.
Well, you should
I
definitely
should
remember
remember
that
that.
next time.
Yep.
oh, that's just
So
like Laurie.
now I
I
now I
think he
remember
only
for next
remembered
time.
it once.
Yeah, no, this is how we learn to remember our
Yeah.
features. Uh, but yeah, you have just arrived, and Astraea is now. I think it was now that she casts cure wounds, right?
Yeah, I cast Cure Wounds, the
Oh, and
Healing
you
Light feature.
eating right, yeah.
Yeah, and that is the good thing. I can basically cast 2 heals in one turn.
Nice.
So yeah, you arrive as the Gith is busy looking over this diamond and looking at it very closely. While this is happening, Seto, I would like you to roll a d6 for me, please.
Ooh.
Sure thing.
And into jumping vampire.
What?
I turn in the Satyr Slayer.
And it's disintegrate.
As soon as the game allows me to roll,
Oh, there we go.
That's
Popped
it.
up there 2. Okay, yeah. So at this point, you guys are about halfway there from when you woke up, and thankfully you don't run into any trouble. But yeah, that is halfway. You should arrive at, I think, about 8:30 at night, or about 9 o'clock. Um, is that right? Yeah. No, no. So we should probably get there around midnight. So but at this point, there hasn't been anything interfering. It seems like the large force that you're traveling with has provided at least some sort of protection. However, as you are getting closer to the planet, you now start to see some of those ships peeling off and away, along with most of the dragons, as they move away with the Nautiloid, and they are moving into what seems to be some kind of like a slipstream that is running ahead of you. And what they're basically doing is going into orbit around the planet, but you're still quite a ways out. But they are now moving into a position where they can slingshot towards one of the other moons. However, your ship takes a different path and is heading straight towards the planet. So, yeah, that is just what's happening in the travel as you guys are moving. But the Gith is still busy examining this as Astraea is curing Kaiya. What's everyone doing?
Yeah, June is still reading her book. Yeah, beyond that, she isn't doing anything.
Yeah, Kaya's being affectionate with Astraea. She doesn't quite want to go back to human form yet. She's just gonna chill in fox form.
She's afraid June will electrify her again.
Well, I mean, a good point is how, like, is June really heartless enough to electrify her in this form?
I mean, I've already electrified her in that form.
Okay, but now June actually knows what that form looks like. So
Yes.
I knew what that form looked like when I shocked you the first time. I have eyes, you know.
You take off June's mask, and underneath the mask is Ein's mask, and underneath that is Ein. He was Ein the entire time. Plot
you know, that would
twist.
make sense. And only Iron would be that heartless. But she's just gonna stay in that form for some extra safety. She's decided that June is just a different breed of person. She's just a different type of mortal. There's
You're
mortals
from
and
different worlds, man.
she doesn't know this.
We are from different worlds.
And then there's June, and she's
I mean,
gonna try and stay away from June for now.
your guys' origins could not be on any further apart as far as like it's like literal polar opposites.
Yeah, a funny thing is also that the aberrations and Fae are Great Old One is pretty much like the enemy of each other, just like fiends, and which I found out like randomly.
In that case, Kaiya has decided now that she does not like June very much. I mean, she's been shocked twice and not enjoying this treatment.
Hey man, you threatened to touch her book, man.
She's a curious little shit. She just wanted to see.
And you get shocked anyway. It doesn't matter if someone's trying to steal it or touch it. June treats them the same way. She shocks them.
I feel like
Like Kaya's learning things about this group that she's with, just as the group itself is learning things about you. They're all like, oh, okay, good to know.
Yeah, Kaya's kind of learning about stuff as she goes. I mean, it's all a learning experience. She's a curious shit, and after a few encounters with this June character, I think she has deducted that she doesn't like her much. So now she's gonna suck up to Astraea.
Astraea is
Also,
the new
because Astraea's
nose.
also, because if Astraea's also fake, she could probably tell that. Also, Astraea's been nice. She's been healing her after June's been attacking her, so she's just gonna rub against her like a cat does, except it's this tiny fox. And yeah, she's gonna be cute. It's her specialty.
Bear in mind that Astraea is a satyr, so the legs you're rubbing up against, it's like a deer or a fawn, which wouldn't be all that strange for the animal kingdom, I suppose. You guys actually make. I really like the image, because like Australia's got the white fur, you got the little white fox, like I can see that buddy cop movie.
I can see the art commission in my mind already.
So,
Shooting in the background, just with the crackling fingertips. It's like,
so she decides that she'll go back to humanizing a bit later. But for now, she's gonna just be a fox, and she's gonna hop onto her shoulder again and just chill there.
I would like to go to Seto actually.
Sure, we probably just still see him in the same position, meditating and thinking.
Yeah, June will go up to sit in front of him and just wait for him to finish doing what he's doing. Her head is currently resting in her hands, just waiting.
You're gonna wait until we finish if you wait. Until we get to Orania. If you want to just wait there.
Yeah, an
you
indefinite
can
amount of time passes, and I just try poke his snout.
Oh my, what?
yeah, you can give me a Constitution saving throw to see how long your patience lasts.
Oh yeah, I'll do that.
Oh shit!
5 minutes. I wait 5 minutes.
I can just picture this like Seto sitting there perfectly peaceful and still in meditation pose, and like a time lapse around the room of just June like tapping her feet, like standing over him, like just getting progressively more and more annoyed until eventually you can't take it anymore.
Yeah, I sit cross-legged across from him and try poke his snout.
What do you need?
I'm just wondering, what's your deal, man?
About what?
Just what's your deal, man? I'm curious about you.
Not entirely certain I understand your question, and I'm gonna essentially Seto's gonna grab a long pipe and he's gonna put some tobacco and he's gonna light up a nice little smoke.
Well, why did you burst into flames a while back? I never really got an answer for that.
Well, we didn't got an answer to a lot of the questions we asked you, so
Well, if if you give me some of my answer some of my questions, I'll answer some of your questions.
Not the type that likes to go around and sneak and do any secrets, but apparently I don't even understand it myself, to be honest. It seems to be something innate in me, based on my bloodline. Couldn't really tell you more because I don't really understand myself anymore. I know it was useless when it should have not been, so might as well be well without it.
Hmm. So wibbly wobbly magic timeline stuff.
I don't think it's that complicated. It's just that apparently I am some sort of it seems that I possess some sort of divine powers of some sort. It wasn't explained to me, so I can't really explain to you. But it seems that I didn't knew my father as well as I thought I would.
Hmm.
June, you can give me just a straight intelligence check, please.
All right. Yeah, I have +4 in intelligence now because of the cool item I've got. So let's hope it's a good number. Hey, 23, but for some reason it's +6, so 21.
When
Oh no, yeah, it would be 20. It would be 23 because of
Proficiency.
the proficiency.
yeah, half my proficiency. Yeah.
Yeah. So but yeah, with that, as Seto mentions divine powers, there's a couple of dots that suddenly just join in your head from the book that you were reading and all of these things that you've been learning and some of those symbols that you saw of the um, sigils. The 12 that you rolled, that sigil, it suddenly occurs to you that some of those runes in there are probably celestial. You've recognized it before. You've seen it a few times in the other book that you were reading. That speaking of divine things, you get the impression that that sigil probably leads to the heavens or
Right.
somewhere celestial at least. Um, but that just occurs to you during this conversation.
Yeah, upon realizing this, I begin standing up and I was like, "All right, good talk," and I begin walking away. To see if,
Oh, wow.
That's all you
I
wanted to know?
immediately go to Astraea. Sorry, say that.
Never mind. You'd probably be too fast, and Seta would probably care enough to stop you. Right now,
Uh,
at least.
I mean, you can still talk. I
Yeah.
didn't hear what you were gonna say.
Never mind. Never mind.
Okay.
Okay, well, all right. So as she leaves, and Seto, are you going back to your meditation, or what are you doing?
Probably yes. Just go and slam my head into the invisible wall, trying to figure out how to bring Sakrodak.
As June leaves the room, June, you will pass by Z as she is just making her way to Seto, and you can see that she's got something wrapped in a cloth in her hands as she just gives you a nod and greets you as she's making her way to the room as well.
Right.
Do you want to say anything as you pass by?
Yeah, I'm gonna quite awkwardly say, "Hello, fellow teammate," as I carry on walking past.
Yeah. Try keep your tentacles in your face this time, right? And she just keeps walking past. and it like gives you a little wave and a smirk as she moves into the room that Seto's sitting in, and just into the doorway as she leans against it and knocks. She says, Seto, I think I might have found something. I figured we could probably use it. And you see she's holding something in this folded cloth in her hands.
What is it?
She unfurls it to reveal a pipe, a smoking pipe that is quite intricately designed with the head of a red dragon on the end of it. And she says, I won this off one of the Gith in a little bit of a gamble. I thought maybe we could head up deck and just, take in the views while we can. Not every day you get to see something that's not even part of your world.
I know we should probably say, but I don't think I can leave her for a moment. So thank you, but I'll pass for now. Maybe when we finally bring her to rest. I don't know. Thank you for your offer, though. I really appreciate it.
So I take it you're sitting in the same room that Sakura's body's in, right?
I would be sitting in front of the room, not really in the room.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, she's then standing out there in the hall with you, and she nods and she kind of moves up and slides down the wall, sits down next to you, and she says, "Yeah, I get it. I would have done the same for Kit." And she just puts the pipe into her cloak, and she says, "Once we're back, once she's buried, we'll take care of it then." And she just gives you a nod and sits with you quietly. Meanwhile, June, once you head back upstairs, you can see that the Gith is busy examining this diamond and is busy asking Astraea questions about it as she's healing. Well, they've gone through that. They're just busy looking over it at the moment, and the Gith is busy asking, "Hey, can any of you uh, use like have any of you got anything that makes light?" And he's just looking around on everyone's belts to try and see if anyone has anything that produces light.
As I enter the room, I says, "I can do this," and I cast dancing lights.
Oh well, I suppose that'll work. Float one over here, and he holds up the diamond in the air. At this point, you are all standing sort of in the cabin in the middle of the ship, in the sort of captain's cabin, but the door is open to the deck. You're all just standing around there. So, June, are you going to
Yeah,
float one of those lighter?
yeah. I combine the 4 lights of the dancing light to make one big a glowing dancing light, which I can do. It's
Okay,
nice.
yeah,
Nice, right?
as you do that and create this huge this intense globule of light, he holds it over it and sort of pushes the diamond down into the light, and you start seeing basically, yeah, that exact thing, Astraea, as the lights as the light kind of enters the diamond, it refracts out of it like a prism and starts to cast these strange lights all over the room around you. And as he's turning it, it just seems to reflect. It looks very pretty, but as he's doing this, he starts moving and looking even closer, and you can see that the symbols that are etched into the diamond, they are casting shadows that are moving depending on how he rotates it, and there are actually very well-defined lines that seem to actually connect depending on what angle he holds it at. But at this point, with a large glowing globule of light, they seem quite like they seem quite blurry, and it's hard to actually tell what the image is that it's casting onto the ceiling around you. But there is definitely some sort of um, refraction causing a projection around the room.
So, what's the deal with this thing?
Well, I mean, holy, that GIF is exactly what.
I
What the?
immediately thought of it.
Haven't seen Treasure Planet in like a bajillion years. Like, I wonder if that was a weird old subconscious thing. But that's basically what would happen if you were able to focus the light a little bit better. And this GIF is trying his level best to try and get it to do that, but you can't quite see what it is projecting around you. Is there you might be able to alter the light as well to change that if you want, but he is just looking at it and saying, I think it's some kind of a map. I think this is the artifact.
I mean, yeah, I can try and make the light more intense if I should I roll some sort of check or something for it.
No, you can just, this is just a sort of creative thing. You can animate the light and make it look, I mean, you can make it look like a lantern or just floating light. There's a lot of things you can do with dancing light, so it's up to you how you said that you'd formed them all together into one. So what I'm sort of picturing now is just one big, like, glowing ball of light. But what are you actually making it look like?
I'll try form it into a I think it's called a hooded lantern. Basically, it's covered on most sides, but it shines out from one part, so it's a lot more focused. I'll try to do that type of thing in order to focus the light into it.
Okay, yeah, and as you do that, you can roll me a performance check.
I'm good at performance. Hopefully, I get a good roll though.
All right, yeah,
Hey.
that'll do it. As you shift the globule and you kind of block it off on the one side, you see all of the light just start to burn even brighter in the center of this lantern as it shoots a beam up into the diamond. And exactly as in that GIF, the room suddenly fills with this light as it projects all around you a map of the cosmos, unlike anything you could have even imagined if you weren't actually flying through it right now. But you can see all sorts of strange little details, and all of those symbols that were creating these shadows they've now connected to locations. It seems like that those symbols each correspond to a certain point in this map. And you, June, you would recognize, because you've been going over all these sigils and teleportation circles and things, that the these are pointing out different nodes. As we've mentioned before, this seems to be a map of all of those permanent teleportation nodes and the places where all of these forces seem to meet all over the universe. And it is interlinked by what you can see. It looks like as if you were looking at a map and you were looking at the river. You can see this kind of river connecting all of them.
Okay. So as I'm doing this, I look to Astraea and say, "So, what have you guys been up to? Yeah, what's with the magic glowing orb thing?"
I don't know. I don't know. I just sent by. Like, so I think they called it to retrieve it from some grave. Wasn't keen on it, but as it basically that they were the owner of the grave, and I was like, they most like came back to life and wouldn't want their magic store because who knows, maybe if they left, then we had steal their stuff and stuff. So we went there, had to kill some monkey king, then retrieve it, then fight when we found out he was dead, and it ended up so. I don't even know why we still have it. It should be. Oh yeah, we had to find the else.
Ah, okay. I'll pretend I understood all that. One thing, Astraea, you can read pretty much anything, right?
Pretty much anything. Yeah. So don't ask me about reading anything in the written section. Can't even.
Okay. And Jin will flip through a book and show her the sigil. What does that say?
So, Astraea, you can roll for me a religion check, but you can just read all writing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's the warlock thing here.
Just quickly, Kaiya is still on Astraea's shoulder. Just a detail to take note of, as she also just like looks at it. Just happy she can see in the book now. The forbidden book.
As I'm showing Astraea this, I'll make a few sparks my other hand to try to scare her. But
I'm
I
convinced the
won't
god
try shock
saved
her.
me. Oh.
Yeah, you let out the little deterrent, but Kaiya is able to sneak a little peek at these sigils. While this is happening and while you guys are having this conversation, Jerry, are you still playing fetch with Spike, or have you joined the rest of the group at this point? Okay, then you can make a religion check for me as well, please. What it? Oh, okay. Yeah, you definitely need to make a religion check. Astraea did not connect any dots there. Though the gift does also ask, where did you find whose grave?
Ray is tired at this point and just basically slams the staff in around a minor image, a picture of a from Obelix took. Kyle.
Okay, so as you do this image of a massive tiefling, well, not massive, but a fairly tall tiefling with huge horns comes apparating into the room, and with that, as you are standing there looking at it, Astraea and Jerry, you can give me one more religion check, as this image would actually give you advantage as you are now looking upon this fiendish creature.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Jerry, you don't quite you. I don't think you actually. Oh no, you never met him before. You only met him when he came back, so you didn't have that initial experience with him. But Astraea, as you're standing there, it suddenly occurs to you that he was a tiefling, meaning that he must have had some connection to hell, and you definitely know. And as you look around this room at all these lines connecting these different symbols and little floating planets and this strange map spread out before you, it suddenly occurs to you that this is not a map of the cosmos, but is a map of the river Styx. which, being from where you are, you would definitely know some stories of it. May go by different names, but you're well acquainted with the mythology of the River Styx, and that's probably what this map is actually of.
Suddenly makes those coins play mind player much more relevant.
Yeah, that that's I was like, if anyone's gonna get this, it would be Astraea. But yeah, so this is just a realization that you have. It's up to you if you want to share that with the group. They all seem very excited at the moment. Well, the Gith at least that is looking at this, they seem in awe, like you've just shown them the Holy Grail.
Why someone map River of Dead? That put Aaron. Then I could. I heard. Who knows? Was guys or
Uh, yeah, Jerry, if you'd like, you can actually give me an investigation check as you say that.
wonder,
Yeah,
Jerry, are you dice loaded to roll either 7 or 5?
yeah, I was going to say you almost rolled 3 6s in a row. I would have had to give you the answer for that if you rolled 6 6 6, but no, you don't. You don't see any like secret pathways or things, but this map is insanely big. It's like the trying to figure out where all of these things lead could take hours, but it does occur to you that this if this is a map, that is a real possibility, and it was the Gith then reiterate that, well, it was Lorifax that is looking for it. There is always stories of how they escaped they escaped the hells. Maybe this is how they did it. And at this point, it's and actually, oh, give it another minute. Is Seto still just? Oh yeah, Seto and Z are just sitting downstairs. Um, but you will hear a kind of a commotion going on above deck as this is all happening, and you'll see some lights glowing through the floorboards above you.
Your mic is muted, Seto.
I'm here. I'll just.
Okay. So does anyone want to do anything here as you're standing under this and trying to figure out? It does now seem abundantly clear that you have found that you are in possession of an artifact that seems to have started wars, if it is to be believed what these Gith are saying, between even the mind flayers themselves, and that most of the astral sea is at war, probably quite similarly to Kaiya, in that, like in the way that the clans are constantly at war with each other. There are probably many elder brains and things at war with each other, and they give you some basic, brief explanation of that, as they are all kind of trying to figure out what this could mean, why Lorifax would want such a thing. But yeah, you basically have a map between the realms of the multiverse sitting before you.
Well, I guess if no one else is gonna do anything, does anything on the map stick out to me?
You can also give me an investigation check. Wow. Okay. Yeah. With the 21, as Jerry is saying that maybe it shows an entrance, maybe it helps escape hell. You start looking around and just examining the map, and on the opposite side of where Jerry is looking, you find a small, where most of these lines are dictated by like a green sort of refraction. You see a small golden line that seems to go through some of those areas, like a thin golden thread that is woven into this green light. And as you curiously sort of tilt your head looking at it, you realize that that is also part of the map, that you are looking at the path of Phoenix, this what is actually a famous thing, but is now news to you. But that is exactly what you see in the map, is that there are hidden pathways just detailed in gold.
Okay. Well, I guess she'll jump off Astraea's shoulder and say to her that just like whisper in it, there's gold pathways. I don't know if I'm the only one seeing that, but I think that's pretty interesting, don't you? And she's gonna like specifically point out a pathway because, I mean, she probably has no idea or like little to no idea what hell is. So she points out one of the pathways to Astraea and says, "Look there. That's looks pretty. It's shiny."
Not all that.
But this one is gold.
But look
The
now,
bard just
it is
shooting down
red.
the other bard's lyrics.
And now,
Wow.
now she just traces her hand over it and turns it red with the minor illusion.
Oh
See,
no.
it is red.
As you do that, Astraea, as you try and change it to red, you change the light around it to red, but you can't seem to affect that gold. It doesn't seem to matter what kind of light is going through it. That gold will not change color and seems to be the only constant in this map. But it is actually threaded in through the other light of what you would understand to be the actual river itself. Looks like the path isn't necessarily a way around the river, but directly through it. Doesn't seem all that logical based on what you know about the river, that it seems like that path would imply swimming through the river. Like, yeah, no shit.
I guess someone is crazy, considering Meta Mind Flip has like so someone made river. Maybe they have some. Oh, maybe they have some swimming competition. Like you, like taking some random people and saying, like, okay, you swim through the river, and if you reach the end, get back to life. Maybe that's it.
Okay, now this time I'm gonna ask Seto to roll another d6 for me, as you guys are now getting much closer to Arania. You can see the planet ahead of you now. It is not just a marble in the distance. It is now this grand planet stretching out before you.
A 5.
Oh shit! What did you roll the first time? It was a
2.
oh, okay. Oh my god! All right. So
Oh
as you
shit,
guys
that
are
doesn't sound well.
as you guys are now approaching, you're finally approaching the planet. You come tearing in towards it, and you are going to see the everything around you just start to rattle. We're going to move back to that airship map. One sec. As yeah, you feel yourself now entering the atmosphere.
Oh, I think we're coming in for landing, guys.
Kaiya just looks at June. She's like, "You think? I mean, aren't you supposed to be smart now? Obviously, we're coming in for landing."
You see June put up her hand, and Spark starts bouncing between her fingers again.
Kaya's 9 tails appear, and they start swishing.
Ooh, scary tales. What are you gonna do? Flick me to death with them? And I cause vicious mockery.
What
No.
the fuck?
You'll probably remember correctly that when that vortex appeared, 3 of her tails disappeared. So
I'm sorry.
the vortex that she cast while we were on the Nautiloid,
A gift pile.
that was linked to the
June
tails.
remembers none of this. I was a mind flare during that entire fight. I had worse things to worry about.
June will
But anyway,
not
you have to make a
remember
wisdom
this.
save.
God damn it.
Okay, so Kaya, are you in? What form are you in now with your tails fishing around? And yeah, do you make that wisdom save?
Wisdom save, let's go. Let's see. Oh, my wisdom isn't great.
Oh, you just say.
Yeah.
Okay, and you don't take 9 points of damage.
Well, I guess she'll go into 9-tail form, but she won't actually use any of the tails yet. It's just
Okay.
like a scare tactic.
Well, as that's cool. As you are doing this, so I'm just moving everyone to where they actually should be on the map. Okay. So, as you are doing this, and as you enter the atmosphere, you hear this intense rattling, and you feel this force field extend around the boat as it kind of this psionic heat shield appears in front of you and starts taking the impact as you are just arriving on the planet, feeling this wind blasting through the chamber that you're standing in. You hear, as this little fight is starting to break out between you, you hear this cackling laughter echo out across the boat outside, and you turn to look, and you see a very strange looking creature come walking across the deck, that it seems like it's just materialized uh, just through the mists that you are flying through, and you see a skeleton like creature. Oh, let me actually just show you.
I am slightly concerned.
Yeah, it's sorry. 2 seconds. Oh, of course, this is the moment it picks to lag. So you see this thing appear behind you, and you see it has got 3 skulls. It is wearing a full set of armor and is holding some strange kind of a staff. As the creature makes its way across the deck, you hear the skull in the middle, which is wearing a golden crown. You hear it speaking out towards you and says, "Ah, there you are. I was wondering where you'd gone." And those of you that fought in the Eldritch Temple recognize the voice as that of Lorifax. As you hear the other 2 skulls start chattering out and screaming, the one goes, "There they are! There they are!" And you recognize that. Or actually, none of you would recognize that one because none of you met the goblin. But and you hear the other one going, "Oh, "Come now, I never really thought we'd find them." Which is you also recognize as the voice of Iron's uncle. And you hear those 3 voices, Lorifax, the goblin, and Iron's uncle, speaking from this creature as it starts making its way across the deck through the mists. You see the Gith all turning around, looking completely surprised as they all start going through their weapons, or going for their weapons. You hear these screeches coming from outside the ship as these whites start crawling over the sides of the ship and attacking the Gith. And that is where we're going to be rolling for initiative. But looking at the time, I think that's probably where we're going to be ending the session instead, and we will pick up with things next time.
Oh no, this is going to be interesting.
Shit.
Unless you guys are keen to give it a little bit more, but I don't know if you want to jump into a battle at this time.
Yeah, I think it's. I think if it's like a mini boss fight type of thing, it's going to be a while.
Yeah, so I think we will leave it for next time. But yes, it seems that Lorifax has found you and has somehow fused its consciousness with both the goblin and Iron's uncle. Those are their skulls. That's Iron's skull on one shoulder.
This is
It's
gonna
going
You
to
be
be
can see
fun.
that.
interesting.
And Kaiya does not know who any of these are.
It means absolutely totally squat to Kaiya and June. They have never.
They don't know why Uncle
Well, I mean, to be fair, June
Reflex
heard of
is at
Lorifax,
them.
but Kaiya definitely has not heard of any of these people. Also, can we talk about how cool the Nine Tails mode looks? Like, look at that.
Yeah, I noticed it. I was like, oh, set herself on fire.